Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Package Out for the Wolf Craze, and we got ourselves a little treat here. So if you guys didn't know, which you probably wouldn't because I wasn't actually explicitly talking about it, but I had entered the beta for Honor and Duty D-Day Enhanced. Now I have some history in playing in Honor and Duty, particularly on the PSVR 1, and I had some, questions about the particular gameplay style, how it looked, how it interacted in virtual reality space. And initially I was pretty intrigued, but ultimately I didn't really stick with it. Now, after having been invited to participate in the beta, I was pretty excited to kind of see where things were, especially after watching some of the trailers that had already existed, or at least some of the videos that showed the enhancements that they have brought to the game. Honor and Duty D-Day Enhanced is not only going to bring character designs, different map models, enhanced graphics, different kind of VR interactions, especially now with the PSVR 2 being out, and how the controllers are vastly different than the moves back in the day. And it was showing and proving to be a much better version than what we originally had. Now, Honor and Duty is a title on the VR platform that hasn't really been explored by many other titles. It can carry 64 players in a single match. This means a 32 versus 32 type of Battlefield experience. Battlefield being one of the most popular franchises on flat screen FPS. So in its attempt to kind of mimic that Battlefield experience, albeit we won't have the total environmental destruction, it is a large-scale multiplayer first-person shooter that we just really haven't encountered, and Honor and Duty is continuing to deliver. Now, in my experience with the beta, I was able to test out guns, test out the movement, and stuff of that sort, and of course, over in the Discord, I shared some of my thoughts and opinions on how the game could improve from a mechanical standpoint. Now, obviously, I'm not a programmer. I'm more or less just a QA tester, but I know what feels good, or at least I believe I know what feels good and what players want. So I provided some of that insight, and from what I understand, they took a lot of advice from the players, which you don't really see very often. And to add on to the excitement, kind of bittersweetly, the developers, First Contact Entertainment, have dissolved, but some of the members have gone over to the development team over to help with the D-Day Enhanced version of Honor and Duty. So now Strange Game Studios has a history, or at least a team with a history in very strong VR development. We'll see if this thing goes further than kind of what it has been, but from what I've played, I'm pretty excited. Now that the game has fully launched, you can get different versions from the base game, which is a free upgrade if you already had the game initially. You get a special edition and a gold edition. And now, I myself, I have purchased the gold edition or the special edition, whichever one was the most expensive. I believe it was the gold edition, not only to support the developers because they are an indie team, but also because I see VR kind of moving into this larger scale kind of genre, and I really want D-Day Enhanced to kind of be the catapult for that. Now, my biggest concerns about the game is not so much the replayability. You've got leveling of the player, you have different roles that you can play, which we're going to look at in this video. You have different scaling on for each one of those roles. And also you have in-game currency, which allows you to buy weapon camos and other things that are really kind of cool. And I expect to see this expand a little bit more. But it's a pretty good system that I thoroughly enjoy. And I could see this being easily added on to, especially with the already large number of different weapons that are provided to the players. There are a few things, though, that, like I was saying before, that I am a little concerned about. There is a bit of a weapon wheel, which seems as though VR developers are kind of leaning into. I'm not totally against it. It's not my favorite thing, but it's easily accessible in this game. I'm not overly concerned or feeling challenged to access the weapon wheel in a way that is, discouraging and doesn't make me want to use like utility items or something like that. So it's not really too much of a bother, but it is something I'd rather see VR titles kind of get away from, as it's not really immersive enough. I'm also not super satisfied with the sound in the game. The sound kind of matches the visual look of the game, so there's that. At least it's there's some continuity there, and I can appreciate that because it is immersing you into that world. And if that's the world that they want to build, great, because they're doing a good job at that. But the weapons don't really sound kind of what I would hope, as intense as I would hope. But regardless, the weapons, as many as there are, they do sound unique from each other, so that I appreciate. There is also a bit of a driving mechanic to this. You can drive Jeeps and you can drive tanks. From what I experienced, and we're going to see this today, if it continues to be an issue, driving the Jeep on flat surfaces is fine, but doing any kind of turns causes it to lift and tumble over, and it's not really a good experience. So you have to be very careful with the steering of the Jeep. Steering of the tank isn't nearly as bad, but the whole aiming premise within the tank, although you could be a machine gunner or the tanker, it's not really a super easy experience to get used to because of the sensitivity of the aiming within the tank. But we don't have any other title on the VR platform that really has this system implemented. So I'm not here to overly criticize, but I am here to critique, and I do feel like that could be improved. But it is something that we still do not really have in any other title, so kudos to them for giving it a shot. Also, with the vehicles, you can switch from one seat to another, so if you're not into driving the vehicle and you want to get a whole party of guys to drive with you, they can hop into the seat, or you can switch seats, or have fun with just like, I guess, rotating in the seats, playing a little musical chairs sort of thing within the Jeep, and same with the tank. The only issue I have with it is the switching is a bit slow, and I'll kind of show you that as well, unless that has been improved, which I will take note of if that's what I come across. I also noticed that during the beta, there were a lot of issues with the reloading system. Not so much that it didn't work, it's just it was inconsistent, particularly drawing back on that loading pin when you pull back the lever to allow the bullet to drop into the chamber. Accessing or at least activating that wasn't super fluid, as I've experienced in other games. But as those concerns were raised, they fixed them relatively quick. I mean, like within a day or two or a week, many issues that we experienced were fixed. And that's one thing I really want to highlight here, is that the team is very in touch with the community, very responsive to the community, and that is what is going to make this game stand above other titles, simply by the developer being part of the community, not some separate entity that we are calling to in hopes that they hear us and maybe respond to the future. No, they will interact with you right then and there. In fact, we did beta testing right along with Reggie, the head developer, over at the studio. So he was very much in tune with the community, willing to participate, play, hear the concerns, whether he agreed with them or not. And that is something that we need to encourage. So right before we get into gameplay here, I just want to give a shout out to the developers over at Strange Game Studios and thank them for allowing me to participate in the beta, share my thoughts within the Discord, listen to the concerns of the testers and the players, and I hope that continues and that trend continues, not just with your studio, but with VR developing studios just in general. We're going to get into some gameplay, and if it's not visually appealing to you, I kind of understand, because there is a taste that comes along with this. It's like sipping coffee, right? Not everybody likes coffee. It's an acquired taste, but it's not so much about how it looks, but it's how it plays. And if how it plays, the way it looks to you, looks fun, like that frenetic, exciting experience that you're looking for, then this is one you're surely not going to want to miss. All right, let's get into it. All right, and now we have entered the game, and this is kind of the starting menu, and I believe, to my understanding, this is going to change a little bit, but why don't we look through what we got here. All right, real quick to start out, it says follow us over on Twitter for updates, or in this case, it's X now. Strange Games Studios. Important, if you own the standard edition and wish to upgrade to the gold or special edition, there will be an upgrade discount available on January 25th. So don't be like me and buy it right away. Wait till January 25th, and you will be able to get it for a little bit cheaper of a price. But why don't we get into it? Please visit the training grounds for gameplay information. That's where we're going to head now. So before we actually go into the training grounds, I want to take a look at this map a little bit. You can see that there are some progressive unlocks here, and you can go through by just scrolling by hitting this arrow just to see what is available. You can see different character models, different gun skin models and stuff of that sort, which is really, really cool. So as you progress up to level 50, you can start unlocking these different unique items. There's also a leaderboard, a shop, training grounds, multiplayer system. This is your rank up here. If we go into systems where there are settings, you can see that there's regular settings, which you can actually play this on flat screen. There's VR settings, which is what we're interested in. There's controls, and then there's menu. There's also eye tracking. And in this case, we are going to turn that off because otherwise, we're going to turn snap turn off, eye tracking off. Otherwise, I'm going to get messed up. Single press, I had press and hold. I am going to play seated. Movement speed, I'm going to increase quite a bit there, and we'll see how that looks. And I might adjust that as we go in. But that being said, why don't we go into training grounds now? Okay, here we are in the training grounds. Now let's take a little bit of a look at what we got here. The visuals are, of course, they feel a little rudimentary because they're fairly basic. That's kind of the environment, the vibe that they're going for. You can see the lighting in this game is actually phenomenal, despite the graphics not necessarily being realistic. You got some really good lighting cascading off of the weapon, off the player model, very naturally, which gives it a lifelike feel. So despite my hands looking as though I am made of plastic, for the most part, I would say like the light effects really, really help in creating this sense of immersion. Again, like things don't necessarily look realistic, but they move really well. Like you can see, the IK is working great. We have different training grounds in front of us, which we're going to get to, but what I'm interested mostly in is back here, because they have UI or AI kind of standing around, kind of creating some sort of feel like there's, this camp is alive. We got a person up in the tower, captain arguing with someone over there in the tent, a couple's going over a quick briefing. We got soldiers over here exercising. Now it looks like you can come to these stands, and now I remember in beta there's like a big screen up here. I'm assuming that they're gonna put something over there, very much like there's a store right over there with that lady. But you can see stuff going on all over the place. And I'll tell you, despite these not being realistic graphics, they look solid, man. I like them. And look at the movement, too. Very fluid. Now, over at this lady, there was a store. As you can see, like, there's obviously a lot of space here. I believe that's because there was a store up there. Don't know if they're going to reintroduce it. I'm assuming so, since they still have her standing in this position with this wide open gap here. So I'm going to presume that the store will be there at some point, but as of right now, it doesn't look like anything's there. But be sure to come to the training grounds. Maybe it might show up again, maybe it won't. But from what I understand, that starting menu that you saw me at initially is going to turn into this. So we won't have that initial start menu. We'll actually come here, and this will be the primary lobby where we can engage with the store, engage with other things. I believe that is the direction they're going to go. So this is essentially what you can expect in the future for when you start up the game. Now listen, I know that this is like a medic tent area, but I mean, this guy does not stop tweaking. He just keeps going. She hasn't given him a sedative or anything. Either she needs to be fired, or they just need to put his lights out. I don't know what's going on with this guy. Someone help him! All right, so very basic rundown on how this game functions. Your right thumbstick turns, and you can change the sensitivity of your turning speed. And the left joystick moves forward, back, left, and right. Okay, very, very simple. The X button allows you to jump. Now, the only thing with jumping is if you jump without moving, you can't move while you're in there. To jump forward, you actually have to be moving and then jump. So that is one thing I feel needs to be improved a little bit, especially when you're sprinting. And then like, yeah, you can get used to it, but I think there needs to be a little bit more forgiveness in the jumping. But either way, if you like games with jumping in it, here you go. There's a lot of jumping. You can press square to crouch as well, and you move, I mean, pretty decent speed here. As soon as you sprint, which is the left or the click of the left thumbstick, you'll stand right back up. But the movement isn't actually that bad. In a crouch position, you can move relatively quick with a nice little plop plop blind fire over the top. You can hold in the grip of your gun, and that will bring up the weapon wheel. As long as you hold it, you can see your class perk, your class equipment, which we'll kind of look into a little bit, and 2 different gear slots. Your primary, secondary will be here, so if you have one selected, then the other one will show up and you could switch that way. But there are other ways that you could switch just by a button press, so the weapon wheel isn't the only way to actually select your weapon. All right, that being said, why don't we head on over to the shooting range after we check out the ammo crate and the health crate. So you can see at present, I am in front of the health. It says I can pick up the health by holding X. And if I hold this, you can see it goes into my gear slot, so I can actually select it, and I can either use it on myself or I can give it to someone. And then the ammo is just automatic pickup. So if you're running low, you just walk by one of these and it automatically picks it up. You got some grenades. This looks like some sort of jetpack or flamethrower attachment. I'm not entirely sure because there's the flamethrower, so I'm assuming those two go together. But you could pick them up. You could pick this up separately from that. This is not interactable. And then you have rockets here, which we're going to go check out as well over in the shooting range. So let's go on over. All right, over at the shooting range, like I said, there's a plethora of different weapons, from assault rifles, sniper rifles, LMGs. We have submachine guns. We got the flamethrower right here. We have I'm terrible with gun names, so I'm so sorry. I don't know the actual names, but this is kind of like a plate plate gun. I call it a plate gun. We'll look at that in a minute. You'll see why I call it a plate. We got a rocket launcher, which is really cool to load. A couple other rifles, a Tommy gun. This is a short secondary weapon, actually. This doesn't act as a primary, but it's essentially a sawed-off double-barrel shotgun. We got a regular shotgun over here. This is an AK. I don't think it's an AK-47. I think it's a variation of it, but it's probably one of my favorite guns. And we're going to take a look at each of these real quick. So before we get started, we're going to look at the basic pistol here. Now, you can't grip it with your other hand, but there isn't a significant recoil disadvantage because they don't have it for the pistol. But you can easily aim down sight, shoot, right? And then you can press the, forgive me, circle button to eject, and then you would grab from this pouch here with the trigger, not the grip button, but the trigger, and you just simply bring it to the gun, automatically loads. Now you can grab the top of it, you'll hear a click, that means it's active, and then you can pull it back and out. Now you see there is no actual hand animation, but you're going to listen for the audio cue. Listen. That audio cue is exactly what you're looking for in terms of making sure that you've grabbed either the sliding pin, or in this case the slider, to make sure that you're chambering properly. All right, very quickly, we're going to go down the line here. Again, I don't really know the names, but we're going to take a look at them. You can easily grab the front. This one's pretty obvious where you grab it, right? You can ADS, and you can see how much of a recoil there is, even with two hands. If I want to reload, same thing, drop, grab, plant. Now here's the slider. Listen for the audio, and it automatically does it. That's actually really good, because before you actually had to grab it and pull it back. Here you just have to click it. I actually really like that, so good on them for that change. So the scope isn't actually attached to this, but this is a very basic rifle. You can see the bullet tracers, which is really nice. You eject. Actually, there's the automatic reload. I was going to say you could eject it, but I forgot. This weapon, so each one obviously has a different reloading system, and I keep forgetting that this one is load in the top. You can't actually dump the clip out, so you have to empty it. So we're gonna do that real quick. All right, so now it's empty. What you can do is pull that back, load in through the top, chamber, and then you're good to go again. So each gun has its own loading mechanic, so you're gonna have to get used to it and understand how it works. This is probably the most broken gun in the game. During beta testing, you could literally just destroy people, but I really like it. So if you grab it from the front, it's your basic LMG, right? All right, and you fire super rapid. Again, press the circle button to eject it. Place this one here, and this is actually the pin right here itself. So you hear that click, pull, release, and you're good to go. All right, here's a bolt action. Now this one, I believe you can actually drop the clip. No, see, I don't know my weapons, guys. Why does that look like there's a clip? But obviously, if you know your weapons, then you're probably like, Wolf, you're just stupid. And yeah, I would say that you're right. But why don't we play with this one a little bit? You hear that? Now they're all gonna pop back up. Now it's empty. We're gonna open up the chamber. We're gonna place the bullets in, top load it, put it back, and we are good to go again. Obviously, I can't shoot well with it. We're gonna get to the flamethrower in a minute. Let's just keep going through the rifles. Okay, see, this one has a clip now. All right, but this is a bolt action as well. It's a little bit faster. This is probably one that I prefer over the other one. Let's see if we can clean house here. Okay. Load, grab. Oops. And this is where sometimes to reload, you have to pay attention to what you're doing. Okay, I think we're set. Yeah, we're set. All right, on to the next one. All right, this little submachine gun, it looks bigger in the box than it does in your hands. That's what she said. But it's fun to play with. Not very good at long range, but very easy to use. Not a lot of recoil. I actually really like using this. It takes a little while to kill someone with it, but if you're in need of a weapon, it's definitely reliable. So you can just disengage that. You're gonna reach over here, pull that back, and you're good to go again. All right, this is one of my favorite weapons. It's a top load, but I remember saying in the beta that it doesn't really do a significant amount of damage. I'm not super excited with how this one is actually sitting in terms of damage output, but it sounds nice, looks cool. Again, it's one of my favorites. You can look down sight, and it is fairly accurate. I like it. So you can disengage that, put this in top. Here's chambering, bolt, and you're good to go again. All right, here's the disc plate, or the plate. I don't know. I call it the plate because it looks like a mini plate, right? Big ass barrel. I mean, look at this thing. This thing is a monster. I can't imagine actually holding this in your hand because it's gotta overheat, get really hot. But this one is one that I've always had issue with reloading with, because if you see where the sliding pin is, it's all the way over here. Now you hear me clicking it, which is great. That means that they've definitely refined it. But before, you either couldn't grab it or it was so specific, it was like near impossible. And sometimes you'd accidentally grab the plate instead. And the problem is, once you take it off, can't put it back on. So you got to be very, very careful. So you can only place a new one on, and then you can chamber it. In this case, you can see it's not really chambering. So let's go through a couple bolts. All right, eject that, put that there, and now you can chamber it. So it's probably because I didn't fire it, so it's telling me like, just fire it, you dumbass, just fire it, and then you can chamber it. But yeah, it's doable. It was the one that I had the most difficulty with. It looks like it's improved, so kudos to them for fixing it. We're gonna get to this bad boy in a minute. Just hold on a second. All right, this is probably like my least favorite because of how small it is, but it's your basic, it looks like a miniature hunting rifle. I don't know, like I said, I don't really know the names of these things, but it's so small in comparison to your hands, and I don't know, man. It's not my favorite. It doesn't look like it should, but you know, let's go through it anyway. Yeah, see, I just grabbed the clip again. I didn't want that. So this one is another just press, and it automatically does it for you. So that's awesome. You can one-hand it. I guess that's the upside. It's so small, you don't have to worry too much about significant recoil. But I like that they added that automatic pull feature. That's really good. All right, on to my favorite. Okay, I don't care how low poly this gun ever looks, but the AK series is always my favorite, man. I mean, it just looks good. You can see some of the blue hinge kind of coming off of there. I don't know, man. I just like it. It's such a good gun. But let's check it out. Bam. And reloading super easy. Pin right up there. Go right back into it. Now with the shotgun, there were a lot of complaints in the beta about being able to reload it properly. We'll see if that's kind of fixed here. I'm not entirely sure. Really cool thing I just noticed. I'd never noticed this before, so it's nice to see something new on launch day. I'm not even pressing the button, but I touch the grip button. I just touch it, and look at that. I'm not even pressing it. I'm literally just putting my finger on the grip button, and it automatically grabs it. That's pretty dope. All right. Yeah, see, this is... You, like, to get this right, it's a bit of a pain to, like I'm moving. You could probably see in my video, like, my webcam, like, it should just be like a short cock back and forward, right? But for some reason, I fire, look at that. It goes right to the back, and then I gotta pull all the way back up. And so every time my arm extends further and further. Now, this is a very simple reload. And what I like is, listen for the audio. Oops. You hear that little click? That's an indication that you've got all the bullets in there. All right, so nice little feature there. But like, my arms keep extending further away and further away. It's so uncomfortable. I'm not a shotgun guy anyway, by any means, so it's not going to bother me any, but I'd be remiss to not let you guys know. Be wary of the shotguns. But speaking of shotguns, let's go check out the other one. Now, like I said, this one is a secondary, so even if I wanted to switch, which is just pressing the grip button, by the way, to switch between your weapons, this is technically a secondary that you can hold. I like the reloading system. Wow, they did a good job with that. I like that. They have a really cool reloading system here. Double shot. You can drop open the barrel by simply pressing here, because obviously that unlocks it, allows it to drop. And you can reload each one, and then to pop it up, you just rip the front. Right, so it's beautiful. Now, obviously, it doesn't have range, so this is certainly a close combat type of thing. But you can also hold the circle button, and it automatically reloads. Right, so I press it, auto ejects, which you can do prior to manually reloading, and then it will reset for you. So really cool, different ways of reloading in this game. It's accessible. Accessibility is important. All right, on to the Tommy gun, or at least I think it's a Tommy gun. Really, really cool weapon. Again, just your basic assault rifle. A little more heavy duty, if you will. Reload mechanic, super simple. Okay, pretty nice gun. All right, moving on to another bolt action. Again, if you get a sniper scope, these things can be really cool. You don't have to pull the pin yourself. Automatically does it, but you do have to load it from the top. I think we may have already gone over this one. It's hard to say. Yeah, there we go. I'm not used to the slider. This is why I'm not a sniper. Yeah, let's try this again. There we go. Could have swore that was on target. Okay. Well, that's that. Let's move on to the next one. All right, this one's a little SMG with a little, shoulder stock there, which is kind of cool. Looks really good. Looks really old. I do enjoy it. And it's super fast. See, it sounds incredibly muffled. It feels like, or sounds like it shouldn't be that muffled, or seems like it shouldn't be. But very simple gun to use. Not a lot of damage output per bullet, but it's really fast shooting. So if you're interested in close quarter combat, this is a good one. Okay, we got the Sten, or Sterling. I think it's the Sterling. Sten if you're a Firewall player. Again, very simple. Not much to consider here. It's just a different option for players to front load, pull the pin, and you're good to go. Let's see if we can get a couple more kills here. All right, let's get that last one just for shits and giggles, as my friend Mick would say, huh? There we go. Let's move on to the next one. Another SMG. I actually really like this one. It's super small. See, this one sounds like it's got more weight to it. This one sounds like it's got more weight to it than the other one. So this one's weird because, like, you don't see a sliding pin or anything like that. You just literally slide from here. I had to learn that in the beta. No one told me. I just had to experiment, but that's where you would do it from. It's just interesting. All right, now on to the fun weapons. Let's check out the flamethrower first. Now, I haven't really seen many flamethrowers in different games that I've played. I know that they exist, but I've never really experienced them. This one's really cool. And then it's done. Now, if you have the pack, I think you could get more, but I don't really understand. But that's the extent of it. There's no more juice. But really cool, especially in, like, let's say, the trenches. That would be a really cool thing to have. Of course, I think if you come here, no, that doesn't reload it. Okay, there you go. And now you're informed. Check out the rocket launcher. All right, as you'd expect, the aiming system is pretty good, but what I recognized very, very quickly is that there is a drop. You see, like, I can't just shoot straight. I actually have to aim up a little bit. The reload's really cool. So you take this missile, or this grenade, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, and you put it in from behind here. Automatically locks it into the animation. Just slide it in, and you're good to go. Bam. And very simple to do. Doesn't take a lot of effort. See if we can get these guys up here. Well, I got someone. It's like just shy, man. Oh well. There's your rocket launcher for you. All right, and that pretty much concludes the weapons. I'm actually just gonna grab a weapon real quick so that I have a different weapon other than the bazooka in my hand. But we can go over to the grenades, and this is one thing that I'm a little concerned about, and I don't know if it's fixable for developers. But the grenades look really good to start out. I really like that. To activate it, you pull the trigger, and it'll activate the grenade, and you gotta throw it. Now, here's where my issue is, and this is true in, like, any realistic throwing type VR game. Okay, you pull the trigger, you go overhand. That doesn't feel like it went very far, okay? Now, watch this, underhand. I barely had to lob it. That's one of my biggest concerns. As a seated player, like, a little flick of the wrist is all that takes. But if I am an overhand thrower, you see how much oomph I put into that? And I'm not, it's barely going anywhere. So that's one of my biggest concerns, but it's super easy to use. I mean, you literally just look how easy that is to select. And then you're good to go, right? So, yeah, grenades I like. Can't wait to see some other utility, like maybe Molotov cocktails, flashbangs, smokes, and stuff like that. Hopefully we see that in the future. Over here, you actually can test out the tank. I'm just gonna show this to you. No, I'm gonna actually go out there and show you kind of how the vehicles operate over there. But if you want to practice your shooting, there are different things that you could do here in the tank. But I'm gonna go over to the vehicle driving section and show you over here. So if you remember me saying the driving of the Jeep isn't super good, we're going to check it out now. But before we do, there is a system to switch seats, and that is, sorry, I don't remember the button layouts of my controllers. I've never have. You press square, and you see how slow it is? I'd like this to be faster. I left that in the Discord. But yeah, you can switch between the different seats. I really do like that. So driving is as simple as pushing the thumbstick forward and then using the left thumbstick to turn. That's it. So as you can see, you pick up speed, right? You take a hard turn, bam. And now I'm all sorts of messed up. Uh-oh. Well, let's recenter ourselves. And the unfortunate part is there's no way to flip the vehicle. So if you want to re-enter it, you're kind of back into the mess. So that's one thing that I really hope does get fixed. There needs to be a little bit more weight to it. You tip over way too easily. But if you get good control of it, you can take it around the track. It's really fun. But let's go check out the tank. So I wanted to test that and showcase that as evidence, like, okay, still something that needs to be worked on, but it's super easy to drive. Now, same thing with the tank. Excuse me, I can hop over in here, press square, I can get in the gunner seat, I can get all the way up here, which I think is more of like a lookout, right? And I can fire from here. And then there's the button, I think, no, not that one. So you press the same button, X, to duck down into here. Now, because I'm seated, I can't see this, but you can actually, shoot from here. Let's go to the next seat over. Right, so you can actually see the gun moving here in the screen. And you can aim that way, but because I'm seated, it's not within my visual range. I think if I'm standing, it'd be easier. So this isn't really viable to be inside. And I think this is just a lookout, right? It's hard to say. I don't. Oh, this is the back gunner, I guess. That's kind of cool. So it's better just to shoot out this way. And the sensitivity of the gun is improved too. So there's the tank, there's the Jeep, and I think there's one more section that we're gonna check out real quick. All right, here's another tank simulator. This is against vehicles though, so it's a little bit different. You can blow up the vehicles. Let's explore that a little bit. So you can see me aiming here. This is probably the best way to do it. And the automatic reload. Now, aiming this can be difficult, but I'm sure it's going to be very devastating and scary when players see this thing coming. It's going to be very difficult to destroy, I'm sure. So you can see there's some destruction to some degree of vehicles. Now, is that going to do AoE damage? I'm not entirely sure, but it's cool. All right, that being said, why don't we try to hop into a multiplayer match and, see how well we do. All right, so we're back in the main menu. We're going to select multiplayer. Play public. Okay, so here's oh boy. So here's the leaderboard. Is there anyone here that I know? I don't think so. Kind of cool situation we got over here. The boards. Here's the different camos. It tells you what level they unlock, and then you can spend these credits on them as well. It looks like I already have one credit. Here are your different. Here are the different ones. You get the assault class, medic class, heavy class, engineer class, special ops. And you can see that they all have different levels, and those unlock with every single level you go up. Free for all, you have different character models. Can't use that one, we were told. So we'll go with the general, and then here's some unlocks. So you can unlock different sites and stuff, and then equip those later. You can equip those over here, and there's also character customization, so you can pick a different customer, and then skin selection when you unlock them. So a lot of really cool stuff here. And we are gonna go with. We're just gonna stick with the Tommy. This looks awesome, dude. Okay, we're on the beach. Oh, someone takes me out. Okay, we're gonna respawn quick and get right back into it. Someone's in a tank. We're gonna get away from the tanker. Get some help. Ah, man. You can see this gun's a little bit difficult to use. But we're getting some decent kills. Right out of the gate. We're gonna go get this guy real quick. So it looks like he shot me through the tank. That's a little cheap. That guy's got a big gun. Now he was in the beta, so he's already leveled up quite a bit. Nice, I'll take that. Ah, so close. Sounds like Reggie's in here. Okay, that tent is killing me, literally killing me. You can see how much more accurate some of these guns are. The map is pretty big. Pretty big map, man. Okay, let's see. Is there anything I can unlock? No, not yet. I gotta wait till after. I got guys over here. Woo! Been promoted. Got him! All right, let's go. Woo! I got two. Hey, I'm down for that, man. That's all good. I am down for that. Oh, who? Oh, Geisen. Don't trust this Geisen guy, man. He's too fucking good. Oh, he's too good at the map. Oh, man. This map is big, though, I'll tell you. Oh, okay. So total deaths, kills 13, total deaths 14. That's not terrible. Look, I came in late. Geisen will always have the most. He's been in this for a long time. So Atlantic Wall, and we can go to capture. Okay, here we go. Okay, can we upgrade anything? So we have 3 things here. Let's see. SMGs unlock. Yes. So let's add that. Let's see. Okay, do I have it? Oh, that's a NIDAR scope. Okay, so let's... Yeah, okay, so it doesn't have the scope. All right. Ah, he blew me up. I'm not gonna get like any kills here, so. Oh my god. So, if anyone knows, I'm not bad at these games, but these spawns are literally killing me. Hey, I got a kill. I got shot from behind. How did he not die though? I'm so used to pressing the thumbstick. So this is a ridiculous map. Let's see. Where are they? Oh, there's a couple people down here. Oh, my gun stopped firing. All right, we're just gonna keep playing until we can like get some good stuff happening here. Geisen, get out of here with your gun, man. Gotcha, Geisen. Ha 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 ha. I can't kill him. I can't kill him. I can never kill Geisen, even in beta. I'll take it, man. I'll take whatever kills I can get. I really want that scope, though. That would make things a lot easier for me. Yeah, really. I'll take the free kills, man. I'll take the free kills. Ooh, look at the trenches, man. Look at this. Woo! Oh, let's run around this a little bit. Look at this. Whoa, look at this shit. Holy cow. This is dope. I don't know where the fuck I am, but this is sick. I have 12 kills, I think. Oh my god, I'm getting massacred. How does he not die? Geisen doesn't die. Let's go inside. That was my kill, man. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so I didn't quite capture the last bit of that fight that you guys were just watching there, but you kind of get the idea. Unfortunately, Streamlabs, it likes to screw me a lot of times by just dying. For some reason, don't download Streamlabs OBS, just go with basic OBS. Promise you, your life will be a hell of a lot easier. But regardless, you guys got to see a little bit of Honor and Duty D-Day Enhanced. Now, I am going to continue to play this game. You can see how exciting it can be. It needs its work. It needs a little fine-tuning here and there. But in general, I think the gameplay itself is super fun. And there's plenty of leveling to be done and plenty of excitement to be had. There are going to be other game modes, I'm sure. Not just this free-for-all, but there's going to be Team Deathmatch. And there's also going to be Domination, I believe, where you have to go and capture points. And that Domination is probably where I'm going to be playing most of the time. When that new content drops, I'm going to be live streaming it. Be sure to check out my YouTube channel right here. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, that thumbs up. But I'm also going to be streaming over on my Twitch. If you go to twitch.tv/TheWolfCraze, you can find me over there. And I'm going to be continuing to play this game, particularly during the I'm going to be streaming this particularly during the releases of the new patches and the new updates. So you're going to definitely want to tune in. If you guys like this video, if you like this review of this, at least overview of the game at launch as it's presented, be sure to give this a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and also leave a comment down below on what you think. I'll see you guys out there on the battlefield. Till then, peace.